Yeah, hi again. It's July 20th, 2020. And I just finished a video on kind of the interlude in the student's journey. And when I thought about it, and I thought, it's July 20th, 2020. July 20th. July 20th is the anniversary of the moon landing. That's kind of cool. The 18th, 19th, and 20th are typically in the Northern Hemisphere the three hottest days of the year, so that's interesting. But then something else came to mind. It was on July 20th, 1987, as I understand it, that that Jeshua appeared to JM and started the Way of Mastery. Started this communion. You all probably have heard this story. It's available on the Way of Mastery websites and things like that. But JM was going off to a business meeting. It's recounted in the Jeshua Letters text. And all that stuff can be found at christmind.info. So it just feels like a very auspicious day. 33 years ago today, Jeshua appeared to JM. JM's leaving for, if I remember the story accurately, I mean, I remember the important part of it, but he's leaving for a business meeting and has some plan for something or other he's focused on. Hadn't really been spending much time in the whole Christian thing, had been more doing Eastern kind of things, pranayama and so on. And I believe he's asked to sit and meditate, and this field of light appears, and out of it Jeshua comes fully formed, like a human being standing in front of you. And that event begins what would become the most profound spiritual pathway I've ever seen. The only one without omission or compromise. The one that would be the foundation of everything that is involved with the student's journey piece I've been sharing. But far more important than that is the actual nature of the atonement plan and what's actually been unfolding. I know there are many channels, and I know that human beings are human beings, right? So I remember I used to think with the Doors, the Doors, Jim Morrison and the Doors. This guy, he's a human being. He's got his stuff, right? Everybody's got their stuff. And people take on really challenging things sometimes as a way of transmuting it and whatever it is. But there's a saying, and this comes from the art world too, there's a saying, trust the art. You don't need to worry about trusting the artist. It doesn't need to be an issue. Trust the art and go and find out for yourself. I have worked with JM I've been going on his retreats, basically. I'm not sure that's working with, but I feel like it is in a sense, but for all that time now, 25 years ago, I found the Way of Mastery. And for me, my experience with Course in Miracles started in 1987, just shortly after Jeshua appears to JM. And begins, so Jeshua appears to JM 33 years ago this day and begins the Way of Mastery. I was a Course in Miracles student for many years and thousands of hours of study. 5,000 hours of study. Do the math on that. That's 2.5 years full-time, 40 hours a week. Lots of people do the course, I know, and they put a lot of time in. I'm just saying that I was there. Again, I'll give my testimony. I've seen dozens of Jeshua channels. A lot of them are really beautiful. Brent Haskell's amazing. Tom Carpenter's amazing. There's the Dutch gal whose name Pamela Kribbe, who is great, and there are many others too. I know there are a lot around right now. A Course in Love is out there, and all kinds of things are out there. And people say, they say the same thing. They haven't read the material if they say it's saying the same thing. They haven't experienced the experience if they're saying it says the same thing. Because it doesn't say the same thing. I submit and share that there's Jeshua is working through many different channels, and they're legit. They're legit connections with him. But the way of mastery is something else. It's the avant-garde of the atonement plan. What's happening, and everybody's welcome. This isn't an exclusive club. But there is a part of it which requires a getting real that I think most people just don't have an appetite for. And that's not a judgment, and that's absolutely not any sense of specialist or superiority, because the main characteristic in my experience of the spiritual path is being humbled. And being almost, really broken is a reasonable thing to say. Being broken. So not that many people have an appetite for being broken consistently and showing how wrong you are. But I just want to take this time to celebrate. It's really the birthday of the Way of Mastery. And I kind of remember when I heard about it, I kind of wished it was July 19th, because that's my birthday. But I was hoping they were born on the same day. But I was born the same day as the Way of Mastery. But a day off is pretty close. And I just want to recognize the day, the significance of the sacredness of the day. Of course, 33 is a Christed number. 33 years ago today in Tacoma, Washington, that Jeshua appears to JM in his living room. It's 5 o'clock now. I don't know what time of day it was. To begin a process that reestablishes his true teachings as they were shared with his disciples in those days. Not just the channelings. The channelings are just a small part of the Way of Mastery. The Aramaic Beatitudes are another hugely important part of the Way of Mastery. The living practices, the recognition of the significance of breath and its connection with the Holy Spirit. The importance of the body, in a sense. Like, the Course doesn't go there. Helen couldn't go there. That's okay. It was perfect for what it is. And is there some way to say this in a way that embraces and celebrates and values all of these things that are happening, and at the same time just really gives kind of a happy birthday greetings and thanks and celebration that is the 33rd anniversary today of the day that Jeshua appeared and began to truly reestablish his teachings in their fullness. The soil was prepared by many things, by Edgar Cayce, by A Course in Miracles, by the Consciousness Revolution in the 60s. But this is the grounding piece. This is it. And it's not the only way. People will can find their way through playing Chinese checkers if they're sincere enough in their heart. It doesn't matter. But there's something infinitely precious about what this pathway has been doing, has proven itself in the most remarkable ways. I said to JM a little while ago, we have the most amazing story that we've ever heard, and it's never been told. Hopefully through the Student's Journey videos, it's been told a little bit. He's got an unbelievable story to tell if he ever decides to do it. It's changed my life in so many ways. I can't imagine my life without it. And it's been difficult, and it's still difficult in some ways. Yeah, it is still. But it is glorious, and it is remarkable, and it is miraculous. It's the most powerful healing modality I've ever seen. It's the most meaningful pursuit of anything in the world I can ever imagine, besides just the simplicity of caring for another human being, or loving watching children and taking care of a child, or love is more important than anything. That's what these teachings are about. But in this world, there's a whole structure of not love that's been created. He gives this brilliant answer in Love Heals All Things. How can I even ask a question about the existence of a non-loving God if only love is real? What's the meaning of life? That one. Why do we suffer? That one. Those questions. Never has there been anything in my experience, I'll just share my experience, that has touched on the beauty and the power and the clarity and the truth of the answers given to these questions as the material in the Way of Mastery. I had the privilege of having nine private sessions with him over a 9-year period. and then to journey with the channel 8 times to Israel and to witness miracles, really miracles upon miracles, and to be able to trace, this has been my path and pleasure and joy the last 25 years. Joshua says that he leaves us so many clues, to trace those clues. And I will share with you this, there has been a profound completion of the purposes of him appearing 33 years ago. There has been a profound completion. Now, that's different from an end. It's really like a new beginning. And the coronavirus is here, and all these crazy changes are occurring. But what's really happened is the false world has been upended. And in a sense, ended. We're not going back. So now heaven begins to come to earth. Now the establishment of 1 million Christs or 100 million Christs begins. There has been a remarkable series of events on the more real part of things, the invisible planes. Joshua, thank you for coming. JM, thank you for receiving him. Way of Mastery, happy birthday. 33 today. And yeah, I never thought when I was in my hell, I was in my hell and when I was 16, 17, 18, 19 years old. Didn't think I was going to survive, probably. I didn't want to survive a lot of the time. And I charted my sails, as it were, towards the truth. Something without compromise. Something without omission. But I never thought I'd find it. I mean, I never thought it was there. I just hoped. But I landed on the shores of the Way of Mastery 25 years ago and made my home there ever since. And it was 33 years ago today that it all began. Thanks for listening.